And welcome back to Area DMG. I'm your host, Will Wesley, the Mile High Mouth, and you're watching Area DMG on February 27th, 2015. It's an interesting day, and there's a lot of news to get to. First, let's talk a little bit about the people who've left us so far this year. Leonard Simon Nimoy, born March 26, 1931. Died today, February 27, 2015. He's mostly known for being Spock, when he is Spock, or when he isn't Spock, depending on which book you're reading, and other contributions to acting. He had an amazing acting voice. He had a lot of amazing skills, and he put those to use. He was a good person in the sci-fi world, and he will be sorely missed. I mean, after all, he beats Lizard, right? But let's see. He died of complications from a chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and he died at the age of 83 in Bel Air, Los Angeles, California, in the U.S. He was born March 26, 1931, in Boston, Massachusetts, and he will be sorely missed. He did a lot of TV acting during like the 60s and 70s, including Star Trek, which was a low-rent, low-budget sci-fi thriller in the vein of things like Buck Rogers and such, but with a little bit more heart, soul, and brain to it. He was the person who taught us to live long and prosper as the Vulcan character Spock from Star Trek. And he did a lot more than that. He did a lot of voice acting. He's in several video games, including Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance and Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, as Master Xehanort, who is the, if I remember correctly, he's one of the big baddies in that particular game. And it's kind of sudden. I mean, here's a man who, with a huge career, he gave a lot to both stage acting and directing and producing. He lent his voice to the Disney film Atlantis, The Lost Empire, which is really good. People should go see it because it's got like Mike Magnolia inspired design, and it's got Michael J. Fox in it, Leonard Nimoy, and a lot of other people. It's definitely worth seeing. I might have to go back and rewatch my copy of Star Trek the Animated Series because, quite frankly, that is my favorite Star Trek. I know I'll probably get some flack for that, but I felt that they did so much more with the animated medium than current cartoons of that time, and the fact that the stories are so well written. Star Trek is why I love science fiction, and to that extent, why I'm interested in many sciences. I grew up watching the reruns of Star Trek, and the reruns and the first runs of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Kind of went away from it with Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and then until they get the Defiant. That one gets good when they get the Defiant. And then Voyager was okay, and Enterprise was okay. I like Scott Bakula, but the original cast had so much personality. And Leonard Nimoy, despite being 83, left us way too soon. And my condolences to his family and to the people in his life and the people whose lives he touched. This is one of the biggest blows since Gary Gygax died. I know there's some other people I may be forgetting, but I just feel it's tragic and sad. On happier news, there are a lot of revivals happening. For example, Netflix is looking to revive Danger Mouse. I know, right? Danger Mouse. Inspector Gadget. And then Disney XD in 2017 is rebooting Ducktales. Rebooting, not reviving. If this reboot means that we'll finally get the last couple episodes of Ducktales on DVD, I'm okay with that. But I think that any reboot of DuckTales has to keep in mind the original Don Rosa and Carl Barks stories. If at some point I don't get to see Donald and Scrooge McDuck and Huey, Dewey, and Louie running around a valley full of square eggs, or some of the one of my favorite episodes of Ducktales had the Phantom Blot in it. Or if I don't see a remake of, say, Night on Bear Mountain, or if we don't see Glittering Goldie in it, like in this, or Gladstone Gander, or Magic. Well, I'm hoping that this is good. What's amusing is that we can actually still get some of the same voices, but I think they might want to avoid a Mako type of situation. So I hope they get a good sound alike, because, well, I adore the voice actor for Scrooge McDuck. He is getting a little on in years, and it may be time to let him hang up the old spats. However, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with it. We need to have some of the staple stories. I mean, like Micro Ducks from Outer Space, or like the one they did where they go underground, they're meeting like the Terra Firmies or whatnot. That particular episode, based on one of the older comics, superb. There are so many different rich pieces of lore that you can get from that, as long as they don't devolve into let me be honest here. I like DuckTales. I wasn't really a fan of the whole Super DuckTales thing. I know people like Gizmo Duck and Bubba Duck. I am not one of those people. I like the stories where they're closer to the original source material, the original Duckburg stuff. I like that. Well, I'm not opposed to having Bubba Duck or Gizmo Duck in there. Heck, if they have Gizmo Duck in there, maybe we'd have some cameos in one or two episodes from Darkwing Duck, which would be interesting. You could see Fowl, or maybe even, yeah, there's so many things I could do with that, but they need to stick more to, when starting out, to the original scripts from Carl Barks and Don Rosa. They need to use those. Use some of those stories. If I don't see one of those stories at least in a brand new animated style, similar to, say, Gravity Falls is one of the best shows on Disney XD currently. One of their best shows. Just absolutely great. It's got continuity, it's got humor, it's good. Now, I'd be a little concerned if suddenly we had Kristen Schaal voicing Webigail. I don't think that would really... No, I don't think that would gel that well. But let's be honest here. I like continuity. I like stories. That's why I catch up on so many animated series, and that's why we're going to start reviewing animated series on this channel. So yeah, that'll be interesting. Outside of that, Donkey Kong Land 1, 2, 3, Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3 are all on Virtual Console now. So if you're a fan of the best games, which are Donkey Kong Country 2, secret best game, like, it's got a few issues, but Donkey Kong Country 3 is actually better than Donkey Kong Country 1. I said it. I'm controversial. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm your host, Philip Wesley, the Mile High Mouth. Oh, by the way, Ironfall is out, and there's this one called like Titan Invaders or something like that. That came out from Curve. Oh, who, by the way, are bringing Ollie Ollie to the 3DS and Wii U with a special thing. If you buy it for $10 on the Wii U or on the 3DS, you get the other version that you didn't purchase free, which is the first time that this has happened in North America with an eShop game. Oh, there's also a patch out for Majora's Mask that fixes a couple bugs. Not all of them, mind you, because there's still a bunch of legacy bugs that they left in there to be quirky. But yeah, it fixes some bugs, fixes some crashes, so go ahead and download that if you want a more stable experience. Gotta have that stability. All about that stability. It's kind of like that bass. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm your host, Philip Wesley, the Mile High Mouth, and you are now caught up.